Hey, game planners, how's it going? Woo woo! We're on day 9, chapter 9, the anatomy of a class. And I'm excited to be here with you today. So I was watching Sarah's video earlier this morning, and she was kind of saying like this, I'm shaking things up. Sorry, guys. She was saying that this is kind of like 2 weeks in the end of week 2. I know we're taking a little longer to go through it, but you guys that are sticking with it, and this is awesome. You're kind of getting into the meat and potatoes, I feel like now, of things. So today is anatomy of a successful class. And the first thing that she kind of goes over in this chapter is just that there's going to be different size classes. So some people are going to really thrive on doing really big classes and having, you know, an auditorium kind of 30 to 50 people and a projector and the whole deal. Some people are going to really thrive on that, but that takes a lot of work and effort. There's a lot more planning involved in a class that big. You need more food, you need more handouts, you need more stuff. So some people are going to do that. Small classes, you know, are a great way and a way that most of us have done it. And so that's another way, you know, that's getting together between 5 and maybe 12 people, and it's a little bit less scary to get up and talk in front of that amount of people. One thing that I love that she put in the part about the small classes is that you just need to be confident when you're sharing. And she shares a little bit about how nervous she was for her first class. And that just reminded me of my first class. And I had Liz Van Nice came with, and Grace was there. And I had my little flip book, which I don't know if you guys all use a flip book, but let me show you what a flip book is. I like using a flip book. It's where you've got the picture on one side and then your script on the other. And as you go, you can kind of flip through. So this is what I use a lot when I teach because it keeps me focused. But I have my flip book, and I was shaking and I was beet red because I get super nervous talking in front of people. And I love that Liz and Grace were there because they can be a witness to the fact that if I can teach classes, then anybody can teach classes is how I always look at it. But she does say, you know, if you're one of those people that you just really can't speak in front of people, and she brings up the fact that the biggest fear is speaking in front of people, more so than death or anything like that. So if you are one of those people, you can totally pop in one of Sarah Harnish's DVDs of a class. So you just kind of can share a little bit about your story, pop in a DVD, and you don't necessarily have to talk. So she does bring that up. And then one-on-one classes is another way that she talks about that. And that's just meeting one-on-one with someone. And she does mention, you know, obviously if you're doing large classes, you're going to be reaching more people, so you're probably going to grow quicker. If you're doing one-on-ones, you just have to be okay with that pace, that it might be a little slower in growth, or, you know, reaching ranks a little slower. But you really want to do whatever is most, you know, comfortable for you. And she gives a bunch of examples of classes in this chapter, which I'll talk about in just a little bit. But basically, she talks about the anatomy of a successful class. And this is just basically, what needs to be in your class. The first thing is that you have to tell your story. I don't know how many times I've heard the saying, facts tell, stories sell, right? If I'm telling you all day long, you know, this bottle of lavender is great for relaxation. Well, you know, that might be something that someone's like, oh, cool. But when I say, Oh my goodness, I put a diffuser in my room every night with lavender, and I have just been so relaxed and I'm sleeping so good. Like, I feel like that's going to pique my friends' interest more than me telling them a fact about lavender. I just heard recently the same kind of thing when, people might talk about a diet and how a diet is good for them or good for you or the aspects of a diet. But when you see someone's before and after picture and they're actually a friend of yours and you see that they've lost, 30 pounds or whatever, that's when you kind of tune in to be like, wait, what's this diet about? So stories are what really sell. And so you need to tell your story. And in our workbook and our homework, part of that is telling your story. And everybody's got a unique story, and don't think that, if you don't have some big crazy thing that was solved, you still have a story of going, chemical free, or you've got the story of the first time you saw a diffuser and how you thought that was super cool, or whatever. You have a story, whether you think it's amazing or not, it is amazing. Hey, Angie. So the first thing you do is you tell your story. And then you introduce people to a chemical-free lifestyle. So she says to issue the 3-cabinet challenge. And that is where you tell people to look in the cabinets of their home and start to look at the ingredients of things. And if you can't pronounce the ingredient, then maybe you should go online and Google it, and see if if it's something not so good. And more likely than not, most of the people who, if they've not already started going chemical free in their home, probably have a lot of things in their cabinets that they wish weren't in there. So this is where you could also talk about the Think Dirty app, but she talks about starting to introduce the chemical free lifestyle. And to start to get their minds to think about the dangers of what is out there and why you want to learn about oils, and maybe saying that every oil you use is a chemical you're not using, which is always a really, really great saying and truth, right? Then she recommends playing the oily scavenger hunt video. If you haven't seen this, you can look it up on YouTube. It's super cute. It's just like a home video that Sarah made with her family, and it's her kids running around and showing all the products in their house that are Young Living that have essential oils in them, and basically showing what an oily lifestyle can look like. You could even make your own if you wanted. If you've been using Young Living for a long time and you've got oils and products in every nook and cranny of your house like I do, you could make your own. This is kind of like an icebreaker. It's a funny video. It's set to music, and you can play it and just kind of get people. A lot of times at the beginning of the class, if nobody knows anyone, it can be a little bit, nerve-wracking for everyone. So I have done this a few times. I've played the oily scavenger hunt video. Usually people giggle and laugh through it. I don't always do it, but it's something you can do. And then number 4 is launching into the lecture. So this is where you're going to do your script. So in the back of the book is the game plan script. You might have a script that you've kind of tweaked a little bit to make it your own. There's the Wise House Oil script that you can use. But basically, this is where you're going to go into about 30 minutes of talking about what oils are, how you can use them, why Young Living is the way to go, seed to seal, all of that stuff. A little bit maybe about the history of essential oils, and information about chemical-free living, toxin-free living. So, you've got a script, but those are the things that usually are in this chunk of, she calls it a lecture. You can call it a class or presentation, whatever works for you. And then the 5th part is that you need to pass around those oils, right? This is where online classes versus in-person classes really are a game changer. Online classes are great because you can reach people far away, but in-person, getting those oils in people's hands where they can smell them and pass them around and smell and experience them, that's what sells these oils. I always feel like everyone always says the oils sell themselves, right? So get that kit out and pass around those oils. In the 101 script, there's compliant things you can say about each oil. A lot of times we like to share personally, like ways we use them in our house while you're passing them around, but encourage people to put a drop on their hand and kind of swirl it around and take a couple deep breaths. and really experience them. A lot of times people just want to kind of quick take a sniff of the bottle and pass it on. But if you can get them to use them or even put them on, they're really probably going to be impactful to the people right there in that moment. And that can always be really great, just like the oils sell themselves. So make sure you're passing around those starter kit oils. And if you don't have the kit still, you can always just gather up the oils that you have that are in the kit to pass around. Or you could order a kit. A lot of us order a kit that is just specifically for classes. Mine's up there, and I always bring it with. But I'm going to have to order a new one soon because the kit is new. I kind of like doing that anyway. It's fun. Then I get another diffuser that I get to put in my house. Okay, so ending with a strong close is the next part. And that is another part of her homework that she gives you in the workbook, is to work out your close. And, I think this is really important. And I think this is the part where a lot of us, especially in the beginning, we feel really timid. She mentions a lady who was too afraid to close and mention the kit or the deals or any of that. And kind of the idea that you're setting up and you're planting seeds for those people to go get a kit from somebody else. You need to know that these people came to your class and they invested the time to come. So they wanted to learn about essential oils or they wouldn't have came to this class. So you have to keep that in your mind. And you have to assume that they're ready to take this jump. That's why they came to learn, right? So being confident in what you're offering when you close, not being timid, not being scared, and just putting it out there about how awesome it is, and how life-changing it has been for you, and just really putting that confidence out there when you're sharing your close. Don't shrink back or get scared during the close part. I know personally I went through that, but when I had that mind shift of really knowing that I'm offering something amazing to people and that they came because they are looking for something. That's why they came to the class, right? Otherwise, why would they be there? So you really want to get that information out to them, and you don't want them leaving the class wondering if you sell oils or not, or where can I get those oils? And then they go online and order. You want them to know exactly how they can order, how they can get their kit, what the best options are. So make sure your close is strong. Then she says, get their information. So what we've been doing in our group lately, and I have found it so helpful, and I actually put this file up on the page so you guys can print this, is passing around a clipboard that basically has their name. It has their contact information, whether or not they want email or phone. They can put in how they want to be contacted. And then we've got a couple boxes. So one is interested in buying some oils or products to help my wellness. The next one is interested in hosting a OneonOne essential oil class and earning a hostess gift. The next one is interested in ordering my premium starter kit tonight and getting started on my essential oil journey. And then the last one is other. Please write in below. So this is great because I pass this around at the end of a class when I'm asking if anyone has any questions. I just say, I'm going to pass this around. You guys fill out your information and check a box so I know how I can best help you. And then I pass this around. And what I do, and what most of us do, is there's usually a person who's going to order the kit. I don't know. I always have at least one that wants to order the kit. And then I have a lot of people who usually check this box that they're interested in buying a couple products for their wellness. So what I always do is go to the first person who said they wanted to order the kit. And I go to them and I go, I saw you wanted to order the kit. Can I help you to get signed up? Now, why do I do this? Because there's this thing called group mentality. And I can bet you that a lot of the people that only wanted to buy an item, they're thinking about the kit. And once they see that somebody else wants the kit, I usually never fails that one or two of these people that checked the other box are like, you know what, I'm just going to get the kit too. So this passing around this, getting their information and finding out where their interests are is really great at the end of a class. So you don't have that awkward, before I used to do this, I always had that awkward, okay, you kind of shared the whole class, you've shared this deal on the kit, and then you're like, okay, so if anyone wants to order, let me know. And then it's kind of like everyone's looking at each other going, I don't know, and so this just kind of eliminates that. This gets it really easy, and you can go to the person who wants the kit, get them signed up first, and then go to the next people, because chances are once they see that somebody else is getting on board, they're not going to want to miss out, and they're going to want to get the kit as well. So get their information, though, because then you can follow up as well. There are a lot of times that people, they need to go home and check with their husbands because it's a good chunk of money. And so you want to be able to follow up, and you want to have their information. And it's also great to do this because you can find out who wants to host a class. And that's always a good thing for furthering your business in the future. The next thing she says is give them a resource. So she recommends handing out the audio CD. This is really easy to do. You can buy some blank CDs. You can get on her Oil Ability Team page and download it, burn some CDs, and then this is basically like a resource that you can hand out. And she says it's kind of like doubling the people that you're getting in front of, because if you give this to everyone there and you kind of plant that seed in their head where you say, at the class, you could say something like, how many of you can think of somebody right now in your head? If someone's come into your head that you can think of, wow, they could use that oil. Well, I'm going to hand out some CDs at the end that you could share with those friends so they can get this information too. So you want to hand that out. And then she also recommends doing the purple bags. So if you haven't heard about these yet, it's just a little purple organza bag that you can get a bunch on Amazon. There's step-by-step instructions on how to order the kit, and you put your member number in here. I did also put these in the files section on this page so you guys can print them out. You want to do a picture of the kit, which I actually need to update because this is the old kit. And then she says to give them something oily. So you could do a little tiny sample bottle, one of those sample packets like what's in your kit. Some people will get those little eyeshadow size jars, and they'll do a sample of the pain cream. You want to do probably a sample of that's maybe outside of the kit too. So if they do order the kit, they're getting a sample of something that maybe they'll want to try in the future. So you want to make sure every single person gets one of these, because if they go home and they're thinking about it, they have step-by-step instructions on how to order through you. You don't want them jumping online and just ordering under Young Living, and then they're an orphan and they're going to get placed under some random person, right? So you want to make sure they leave with a purple bag with all of that info and a CD. And those are just really great things to do. And then she also says I kind of skipped. I did number 8 and number 10 together. Number 9, she says, find your business builders. And this is something she suggests if you have her DVDs. She's got one that is Why Do a Young Living Business? It's pretty short. I want to say it's like 12 minutes. And it's her kind of sharing her story of how they went to from poverty, to this amazing well, now they're diamonds, but at the time that she, did the video, they were on the cusp of diamond. And it's just a really great video, and she talks about the Game Plan mini book. And so she recommends playing that at the end of your class, kind of like saying, like, I'm going to set this up for those of you that might be interested or, that want to know more about this business side. Why don't you guys watch this? And letting that play. So that's a great idea to do. You could also just talk about the business aspect of it if you don't have the DVD. But don't shy away from sharing the business, because there are lots of people, lots of moms who would love to have something to do and are looking for a way to have more time freedom. And so you always want to share that business side and find some business builders. So that's the anatomy of a successful class. Those are the things that kind of have to be in your class. I feel like number 3 is kind of optional. You don't necessarily have to play the oily scavenger hunt video. Some of us don't always do the business builders video, but I think it's really wise to do. And I've just recently started doing that since I've gotten that DVD. So that's really nice to be able to pop in and add in there. The rest of the chapter, she talks about the different kind of classes you can do. And she's got some cool ones that I have never tried. And so I like that. She talks about the one-on-one. That's you and one person. You're meeting, you're going over the script. You want to make sure, like, the 10 things that she says, those are the things you want to have in the class. Like, obviously you have to kind of tailor it. If you're doing a one-on-one, you might not have, your laptop with you or whatever, where you can show the oily scavenger hunt video or the business builder DVD. But you want to make sure that you get in the whole, 101 kind of all the seed to seal and how you can use them and what they are and all that. And you want to make sure they still leave with the purple bag and all that. So all of these things can be used in any one of these classes. But she says the one-on-one, she talks about the lunch and learn, which I have never done this, but she says to grab your script and contact a local business and speak to their employees over their lunch hour. So that would be kind of cool. That would be you'd have to be brave to take that one on. I haven't done that one yet. So it's kind of cool to look at these and be like, okay, I haven't done this one yet. The couch class, I feel like this is the one I've done more than any other. This is basically, you're getting together, between 5 and 12 people in your home, sitting on the couch. You've got maybe, your flat screen and you're doing a PowerPoint and you're going through the thing. She talks about the big class. That's, where you're going to go maybe somewhere like your church or your senior center or your library, the Y Community Center, and you're going to try and get a big group of people together. And this is something fun that's to try and do with your team. If you've got some leaders under you and you've got, a team, or all working together with your cross line so that you can get a big group, because big groups kind of are exciting and people love momentum and people love seeing that other people are doing this. So that's kind of fun to get a big class going. The connection class is another one that I haven't done, but I'm doing this coming week. So I'm kind of excited about that. And this is where you're going to do a one-on-one with the owner of someone like a bulk food store or a chiropractor or massage therapist or a dentist. And you're kind of trying to get them to like put out a diffuser with some information, like maybe some purple bags or some DVDs or something like that, or CDs, or flyers, or you're trying to get them to maybe host a 101 class. So you're kind of going to them and speaking to them. And I'm actually doing a class for a chiropractor coming up next week. So that's exciting. And then she's got Gotta Eat. This is a class that you do with 3 to 10 friends over lunch or dinner. You're going to pick a restaurant and give your intro, then you eat. And then while people are, kind of eating or finishing up eating, you go through the script. So it's kind of more of a relaxed, like, hey, we're going to hang out to eat, but yet you're sharing oils that way. And then speed oiling. I still have never done this, but I would love to with my team. And this is really a fun way. You get a bunch of leaders together and each one tackles a specific area of the 101 class, but you only get 5 minutes at a time. And there's, the bell, kind of like speed dating, and the people go from table to table to table and learn about oiling in a fast, fun, exciting way. So that's going to be really good for all your blue personality people, because they're going to love that. They're going to think it's fun. And then she talks about make and take classes. She kind of is not the biggest fan of make and take classes. They do take a lot of time and money to plan. They are super fun and they are super great community builders. But what she says is, a lot of times people don't want to buy a Young Living product if they leave with something, or also like, I know what I've seen is that I feel like make and take classes should be done for your team members that you already have as community builders, and to get them using their oils and to give them ideas on how they could use them. But I don't feel like make and take classes should be the first class that somebody hosts. And a lot of times people want to host a make and take class because it feels less salesy, or it's a little bit more fun, or they feel like their friends will come to that. So if you do a make and take, make sure you do it kind of alongside a 101 class, like make it kind of an afterthought, like we're going to do a 101 and then you could make some thieves cleaner to take home or something like that. But she just says, she'd rather point people to the catalog and all the amazing products that Young Living has than be, kind of pushing the make and take items on people. But she does mention it as something you can do. And she says, always try and sneak in a 101 class. And then the last part of this chapter is just really ending your classes strong. She talks about, and I really like this concept, about how oils are kind of the bridge to natural health and natural living, and how, you know, like with tinctures, or she talks about like, I think she's talking about kombucha, like things that have to like ferment for a long time on your counter, or I don't know, if you're doing some Whole30 diet or something, there's a lot of planning involved and a lot of things like that, where an essential oil is literally you take a drop, you put it in a diffuser, or you take a drop, you put it on your body. So it's an easy thing to do to start to go natural that doesn't require a lot of planning or a lot of thought. And she says it's kind of like the bridge, like people who are going from the typical, you know, using the stuff at the drugstore to getting to be more natural and be more, you know, granola, or however you want to say it. Like that essential oils are kind of that bridge. Like it's a great starting point to get people moving in that direction. So yeah, she just, the end is the close. And I really think that has to do a lot with just being confident. She talks about in the workbook the difference between, let me see if I can find it so I make sure I say it right. She just talks about the difference between the like the sales or starter kit mentality and the education mindset. And she just says that we really should, you know, it's better to lead with the education mindset. And she's got 2 different scripts that she kind of goes over with the close and how you could kind of lay it out. So you guys will have to read that, but read that in your notebook or in your workbooks and see what you think. I know, you know, a lot of times we do the starter kit mentality where you're just saying, hey, here's the 11 oils and the diffuser and it's the best thing, you know, that you can get. And she kind of lays it out like maybe trying to go at it from more of a toxin-free educational point where you're getting people on board that way. So, you know, either way, you want a strong close. And I think a lot of us have found lately, for me anyway, I've found that the good, better, best close is awesome, where you're laying out, you know, good is you can be a retail customer. Better is that you're going to get wholesale and you're going to get this awesome kit. And best is that you're going to get wholesale and get this awesome kit. And then you're going to get on essential rewards because you are taking this natural health lifestyle seriously. And we're going to help you to get that junk out of your house and get this awesome stuff in. So that's been really cool because you're laying out all the scenarios. All of them are great. And it's a great way to be able to share that ER and the whole amazingness of it without feeling like you're pushing stuff on people. So I've really loved that way of closing for myself. But I know for the homework, you got to write your story. You got to write your close. So do those, and for the meaningful comment to get your credit for these awesome Zoom calls that Grace has been organizing. If you guys haven't been in on those, she's been great getting some amazing leaders. And for everybody who does the commenting on these videos, you get to get in on a Zoom call, like a private Zoom call with these amazing, successful Young Living people. So you want to get in on that. But for your comment, just, I think for the homework, she says to give one second. Sorry. I need to be more prepared here. You guys are awesome for bearing with me. Okay. Why don't you post, she asked for your 3 biggest takeaways, but just post your biggest takeaway from either this video or from the chapter in the comments and put it below, and that will be a great way for us to hear from everyone and what they thought was the most important thing to them. And like I said, I did put the handout for these, for the starter kit instructions for the purple bags, and I put the printout for this passing around the information on this page so you guys can print them off and start using them. But it was great to hang out with you guys. I love that you guys are doing the game plan. And woohoo! This Anna says woohoo! I want to high five you already. All right, awesome. Have a great day, guys.